No matter how lonely you feel, no matter how vulnerable you feel, know that an unseen guard is with you. As a chosen one, a house has been built around you by the hands of angels, a house that no evil can approach. No matter how close the darkness may come, no matter what mischief and gossip may circulate, it cannot penetrate the walls of that sacred house. Because this house was not built by human hands, but by divine power. Wherever you step, peace spreads, hope blossoms within, and the sky above you is always open. Remember, even if evil knocks on the door, the house of angels always remains closed. The power that protects you today will light your way tomorrow. So keep your head up high. Write 55 in the comments now, because behind you is a holy army full of angels. You ever seen how a mighty oak stands tall through every storm? Roots gripping the earth, branches reaching for the heavens. Chosen one, your journey has been just like that, weathering storms that were meant to break you, not realizing that every blast of wind was secretly strengthening your foundation. They tried to bring you down, but all they did was loosen their own grip on truth, until it was their own house that came tumbling down. While they gathered in the shadows, plotting with whispers and secret glances, like crows circling a field, thinking they own the land, the true judge was already at work, shifting the very soil beneath their feet. This isn't just about stories or rumors, it's about a cosmic tide that can't be stopped by human hands. See, when you're called, when you carry that spark of destiny deep in your spirit, every weapon fashioned against you ends up dull and broken. They can gather, they can scheme, they can even draw up plans in the dust. But the truth is, that dust never belonged to them. It belongs to the one who made you, the one who's been whispering to your soul since before you could speak. While they're busy sharpening their arrows, the ground is shifting, the winds are changing, and their arrows just circle back around to pierce their own intentions. There was a season when their sly looks, their coded messages, felt like daggers. Every time you walked in a room, you could feel the chill, like winter air, sneaking under the door. You may have even wondered, why me? Why do I have to be the target? But my friend, let me tell you, the brightest lights attract the longest shadows, and when you walk in divine purpose, the universe itself steps in to weigh every word, every deed. The gossips and plotters may think they're in control, but in reality, their secrets are already being tallied in the ledger of heaven. Every whisper, every sideways glance is known, counted, and handled by hands far stronger than theirs. Think of your life like a field after the rain. Muddy, yes, but rich with new possibility. The storms that were supposed to tear you apart have only made your soil more fertile. Those who tried to root you out now find themselves stumbling, slipping, realizing too late that the ground they trusted is moving under their feet. It's not just justice, it's a holy reversal. The pit they dug for you becomes the grave for their own schemes. They gather in corners, trading stories and plotting their next move, but it's like children building sandcastles at the tide's edge. They forget that the ocean always returns, washing away every fragile wall. You don't even have to lift a finger, because the waves are doing the work for you. That's the favor on your life, chosen one. That's the protection that can't be bought, can't be faked, can't be shaken. Some nights, you may have laid awake, feeling the weight of all those false stories, all those attacks you never deserved. But let me assure you, every tear you shed watered the garden of your future. The ones who laughed at your pain will one day look out and see fields of blessing in your name. They'll realize too late that their weapons were no match for a heart anchored in faith. There are seasons in life where it feels like everything is falling apart. When rumors run wild, when doors slam shut, when it seems the world wants nothing to do with you. But that's just the pruning before the harvest. That's just the refining before the gold can shine. They didn't see the angels stationed around you. They didn't notice how every insult thrown your way only became another brick in your foundation. You are standing, not because you avoided the storm, but because you learned to dance in the rain. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. This divine gift will touch not only your life, but the souls of many through this platform. Each of you has a sacred place in God's grand design, and your generosity will be the fruit of our prayers. Act now. Share your blessings to glorify His kingdom, for you were created to do even greater things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. So let them keep gathering in their secret places. Let them sketch out their plans in the dust, thinking they can control your destiny. The truth is, the author of your story already wrote the ending, and it's a victorious one. Every rumor becomes a stepping stone. Every betrayal becomes a testimony. Every shadow only makes your light shine brighter. See, there's a law written into the fabric of this universe. What you sow, you reap. They tried to plant weeds in your garden, but only watered their own undoing. Every trap they set, every plot they designed, is like a boomerang, coming back with a force they never imagined. The more they try to trip you, the stronger you rise. The more they twist the truth, the clearer your path becomes. And now, as the dust settles, it's not you who stumbles, it's them. They can't understand why the ground keeps shifting, why the things that once worked in the darkness are crumbling in the light. It's because the era of shadows is over. You were never meant to live in hiding. You were created to stand tall, to be seen, to be celebrated. Lift your head, chosen one. The season of shame is ending. The voices that once tried to drown you out are fading. What's left is the steady song of purpose, the unshakable confidence that comes from knowing who walks beside you. While they worry about crumbling castles and shifting sand, you're being called to higher ground. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. If you've ever doubted your worth, look at how hard the enemy worked to break you. That's the greatest evidence of your value. If you've felt the sting of rejection, know that it was only a setup for your promotion. Every attack, every lie, every storm, it was all permitted so you could see just how indestructible you really are. You're not just surviving, you're thriving. Your roots have gone deep. Your faith is stronger now than ever. And just like that oak tree, you will outlast the wind, outgrow the shadows, and provide shade for others who are still learning to weather their own storms. So let the gossipers gossip. Let the schemers scheme. Their energy is wasted, because you are not going anywhere but up. A day is coming soon when all those quiet glances and secret schemes will be exposed for what they are: powerless. The same force that judged their whispers will promote your name. The hands that tried to dig your grave will see you crowned with glory. Their stories will be forgotten, but your testimony will echo through generations. So stand strong. Plant your feet. Let your branches stretch wide. You are the living proof that storms cannot stop a soul anointed for greater things. The very ground beneath you is holy, made sacred by every trial you endured. The universe is on your side. The wind is at your back, and destiny, your destiny, cannot be taken by those who never wrote your story. Now, as the new day dawns and the old rumors lose their power, lift your hands in gratitude. Thank God for the storms. Thank God for the plot twists. Thank God for the unseen hands that turned every attack into an opportunity for your roots to go deeper, your branches to reach higher, your faith to shine brighter. It's your time. Walk forward, unafraid. The ground under your feet is firm. The enemies that once seemed so powerful are now only a footnote in your story. And the light that shines from within you, oh, that light is the beacon calling every other chosen soul out of hiding and into the sun. You are not just surviving, you are living in the overflow. The storm was never the end. It was the beginning of your greatest testimony. And let every heart that has felt the weight of slander or betrayal take courage from your victory. Because when God is for you, nothing, absolutely nothing, can stand against you. Ever watched a lighthouse stand steady on a foggy shore while everything else disappears in the mist? That's the kind of clarity surrounding your spirit right now. While confusion swirls and accusations hang in the air like smoke from a wildfire, your inner light cuts right through the haze, guiding you safely when others would be lost. It doesn't matter how thick the fog of deception gets or how many stories are spun to block your view. The truth you walk in is like a beam that no darkness can swallow. Out there, just beyond the glow of your peace, some folks act like children, sneaking around a backyard at night, thinking nobody sees their shadows. One in particular, clutching the strings of control like a desperate puppeteer, believes he can keep orchestrating the whole show from behind the curtain. But the longer he pulls those strings, the shakier his grip becomes. You see, power that's taken instead of given never lasts. It's like fruit plucked before it's ripe. Looks good at first, but soon it starts to spoil from the inside out. And just like a bad apple in a barrel, the one who tries to control everything ends up souring even his own ambitions. Every space he tries to fill with false confidence carries that sour scent. Something off, something rotten that's hard to hide for long. People start to notice one by one that the grand gestures and loud voices don't match the emptiness inside. No matter how many rooms he enters, no matter how many opinions he tries to sway, the truth remains. A borrowed crown weighs heavy on a trembling head. But while the air around you remains fresh and clean, untouched by the fog and fumes of their confusion, you keep shining. No amount of maneuvering behind closed doors can dim the clarity you walk in. Your peace is like a home with open windows, always letting in fresh breezes from heaven, always pushing out the stale air of old games and manipulations. There's no smoke here, no confusion, no lingering stench of the past, just steady, unbroken light. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace be upon you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the temporal concerns of the world. As the Bible says, whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Luke 6:38. Like that great oak tree, our roots are deeply rooted in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stand we take, is secured by His strength. And now, you are being offered the opportunity to be part of that blessing. When you use the super thank you button and donate $100, this movement will return to you 100-fold in abundance. It's amazing, isn't it? How some folks will chase power for years, only to find it slipping right through their fingers the moment you step into your calling. They scramble, they plot, they double down, on every trick they know, thinking they can outsmart destiny itself. But here's the thing. You can't keep what you never truly earned. And when you live on borrowed strength, you spend every night afraid someone will come and ask for it back. So, chosen one, keep your head up and your heart clear. The fog will lift. The game playing will fade. And when it does, the only thing left standing will be that house built on a rock. The life you've lived in truth, in clarity, in honest faith. Those who tried to pollute the air with their fears and schemes will find themselves gasping for breath, while you walk forward with fresh purpose and joy. Because when the wind of truth blows, the smoke always clears, and the real lighthouse shines brighter than ever. Let them try to pull the strings and play their games. It changes nothing about who you are. The light in you can't be touched by their illusions. Their noise will pass, their fog will fade, and you'll still be standing, strong and unshaken, a beacon for everyone still searching for home. The hope for them is that distance will sap your strength. They imagine that if you're left alone, if support is withdrawn, your spirit will wither. They create empty circles around you, betting that the cold will suffocate your flame. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. So, with a careful hand, they remove people from your side, engineering silences and erasing invitations. The chill from those you once called confidence is not happenstance. It is coordinated, measured, strategic. Their next move is always to keep you stranded on your own island. After burning bridges behind you, they set out to destroy any that might be built anew. Isolation is their weapon of choice, hoping that doubt will do what their lies could not. But when you listen closely, the holes in their stories are impossible to miss. Contradictions echo like footsteps in an empty hall. The deeper you look, the more their arguments unravel, leaving them scrambling, desperate to maintain their grip. There are witnesses to this resilience, watchers who see how you are untouched by the smear. Your essence remains intact, your path illuminated by an unseen hand that always opens another way. Your safety is no accident. It is written into the story of justice that governs all things. What unfolds is not random. There are cosmic systems at work, recalibrating the balance every time the destroyer acts with malicious intent. Their schemes rebound with mathematical symmetry. Their destabilization reveals only their instability. Their slander writes their own script of downfall. So each character attack, instead of wounding, marks their own retreat. What they accuse you of, they begin to display. Their instability is no longer hidden. The very isolation they hoped you'd suffer from becomes the silent space that they, in the end, must inhabit. It was your very rise from adversity that awakened fear in those who hoped you'd never recover. Your healing threatened the story that you would never thrive without them. Each step toward joy reflected possibility, and possibility is the one thing they cannot abide. Their core belief that you needed their shadow to survive shattered as you learned to shine alone. Your independence undressed their illusions, making clear to all how little of their narrative was true. Without ever realizing why, the ones who plotted against you become furious at the invisible guardians standing in your defense. They try to strike hardest just as your light is about to peak, desperate to tear down the very qualities you are reclaiming. They strategize to hit at your confidence just as your true voice finds its power. They attack relationships as your discernment grows. They stir confusion just as you gain inner stability. Every move is timed to halt your ascent before it can settle into permanence. They design scenes worthy of the stage, playing out conflicts built on lies, casting you as villain in plays that never really happened. Their wildest accusations travel fastest among those who cannot verify the truth, damaging reputations in the spaces you cannot reach. Facts are stretched beyond recognition until even history is rewritten with you as scapegoat. Their strategy widens, now reaching into your work, your resources, your very identity. By shifting how others see you, they hope to make you question your own value. Their ultimate goal is to blur the difference between what you know is real and the falsehoods they circulate. But the fabric they wove finally unravels. Cosmic law is impartial. Every trick, every twist of power is countered. All credentials, all standing dissolve, leaving only the facts. The castle they built on manipulation collapses as its stones turn to sand beneath their own feet. Traps set for you are now their cages. The networks they once managed cut them off. The alliances they forced begin to disband, leaving them isolated, facing the collapse in plain view. Their fall is public, watched by all those who once cheered them on. The disgrace is as grand as the stage on which they plotted your fall. The tables turn, but you have no hand on the lever. This is consequence, not revenge. All the while, unseen protectors defend your spirit. Every attempt at psychic attack fizzles before reaching you. As the stakes rise, so do your shields. Not a single intention meant to harm can land. Your energy is safeguarded from every side. Truth always floats to the surface, regardless of how much effort is made to sink it. One by one, the lies unravel. Your reputation, built by steady actions, becomes unshakable. The record they tried to alter is overwritten by the sum of your choices. Pressure doesn't break you, it refines you. Each new challenge forges inner strength, turning tension into clarity, adversity into brilliance. New doors open just as old paths are blocked, because nothing can truly bar your way except what is meant for your highest growth. Your presence shines all the brighter against the dark. The separation between their chaos and your peace becomes clear to all who look. What is real and what is forced are impossible to confuse. The force of your truth is unmistakable. Divine order takes what was thrown to hurt you and recycles it into stepping stones. The walls built to keep you out become launch pads. Nothing is wasted, nothing is lost, only transformed for your elevation. A sacred shield envelops you now. It keeps out the poisons, yet lets through the nourishment of genuine connection. You step back from their judgment, letting their distorted stories dissipate in an atmosphere you no longer share. Concern for their narrative fades. You withdraw your energy, and the storm loses its power. Boundaries become the gates that preserve your advance. No ties are left unexamined. No channel for invasion remains open. Movement is your answer. Never defensive, always forward. Attempts to distract you are recognized for what they are. Refusing to play their game, you pour your focus into creating what's next. And as you move, those who are fooled by the spectacle begin to notice the emptiness behind every accusation. The pattern is too familiar, the evidence too thin. As the tide changes, former allies pull away from the source of trouble, sensing the winds of consequence and choosing distance over loyalty to deception. Isolation surrounds the destroyer, public and inescapable, as the lesson becomes clear for all. Revelation does not happen in secret. The lesson is public, so that others can learn. As the house of lies falls, so too does the risk that such tactics will harm another in the future. Now is the time to share God's blessings. by clicking the Super Thank You button on YouTube. You can contribute to his plan and be a part of this divine mission with a donation of $100 or more. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will return to you exponentially far beyond your expectations. Remember, his protection and blessing is on your every step and every donation. You become part of his divine plan. You are a strong, radiant being, unshakable as his mighty rock. Witness God's miracles. Feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul and illuminate the world with confidence and courage. Be blessed and let the light of the Lord guide your path. The opposition came certain of your defeat, unaware that their own downfall was the only story being written. Now you advance, unmarked by their efforts, defined only by your growing strength. What they flung at you returns to sender, multiplied. The harm they plotted gathers and circles home. As they watch their own world shrink, yours expands, filled with new opportunities and fresh landscapes. Your victory is not just survival, but the opening of new horizons. Your radiance can only increase. Your momentum can only accelerate. This experience was never simply personal. Every lesson learned, every victory secured, shifts the pattern for all who walk a similar road. Your transformation shields others. The new path you carve becomes a highway for the next traveler. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. No challenge faced was without meaning. Every difficulty was a refinement. Each lie encountered a test, and each test a preparation for something greater. The entire campaign was a passageway, unlocking your potential and ushering you into a season of greater fulfillment. Picture a farmer who goes out every morning to scatter seeds across his field. He may forget what he planted, but when harvest season comes, the earth never forgets. Every kernel, whether good or bad, rises up in full color. That's how divine justice works, chosen one. The scales are set not by human hands, but by a higher wisdom that counts every thought and intention with absolute accuracy. While some were busy sowing seeds of division and casting stones behind their backs, the ground has been quietly working, returning to each person exactly what they sent out. Those who tried to put you in a corner now find themselves standing alone in rooms that once buzzed with their laughter. Every plot they drew in secret, every prayer they whispered for your failure, has become the very script of their own journey. It's like a boomerang thrown into the wind. What they launched with force circles the world and lands squarely at their own feet. You don't even need to look back. The universe is handling every detail, ensuring that every act is measured, every injustice balanced, every wound answered with healing on your behalf. Life is a mirror, polished by the divine, reflecting back the heart's true intent. For those who wish storms upon you, now clouds gather above their own heads. For those who longed for your isolation, their phones grow quiet and their tables empty. For every moment you spent in tears, new strength is being born. For every night you felt alone, angels were recording your patience for a day like this, a day when justice would speak so clearly that even your enemies have to admit, this is fair. Let this remind you, you never had to chase revenge or demand repayment. The seasons know how to settle the score. What looked like delay was just the ripening of your blessings. What felt like loss was the planting of a greater harvest. Now, as those scales of justice tip in your favor, your peace returns with interest, your joy multiplies, and your table is set in the presence of every naysayer. The ones who cast you aside will watch you rise with a gratitude and glow that cannot be stolen. All you have to do is keep your hands open, your heart soft, and your faith firm. The field is alive with promise, and the reaping has only just begun. And don't miss this, beloved. As you receive this season's blessings, remember that the same law still governs the land. What you sow now in forgiveness, hope, and kindness will multiply in your future. The world may forget the details, but heaven keeps a perfect record. That's why you can walk forward, head held high, knowing that justice isn't a maybe, it's a promise, and it's working for you right now. Now, the invitation is clear. Look not at the ruins behind, but at the new dawn breaking ahead. The only energy worth your attention is the life you create from this point forward. Remain steadfast in your vision. Let your light grow. Never let the legacy of truth be dimmed by the fading memory of those who opposed it.